A fort saved by love. This curious, confusing clock. Welcome to Novi Sad, Serbia's second city. On this video, I'll take you up to its famous fort and through its historic centre. Good morning from Serbia. Overnight we've arrived here at Novi Sad, the second biggest city in Serbia, and we're going to go walkabout in a short while and take a look around. Yes, that bridge behind me might look impressive, but the real thing we're going to go and see initially is this, a fort over a river. And if you know this channel, yes, you know I can't resist a castle and a fort. Situated on the banks of the river Danube, Novi Sad is the second biggest city in Serbia, with a population of just over 250,000. It's the administrative centre for Vojvodina, and it's about 80 kilometres, or if you're British or American, 50 miles from the capital itself, Belgrade. Most recently it became known for being the European Capital of Culture in 2022, but it's probably best known for the fortress that we're walking towards. The style of these buildings below the fort are pretty familiar, aren't they? They look like anywhere in Central Europe that was ruled by the Habsburg Empire, and indeed these were built in the 18th century. Now look, it was pretty quiet when we were there. However, if I'd been there a couple of days before, this area would have been rammed full of people. And I'll explain the surprising reason why in a short while on the video. Coming up soon. The walk up to the castle, I'm told it's around 200 steps. As you may have guessed from the fact this video started on a boat, this video is part of a series where I'm travelling down the Danube from Vienna all the way to the Black Sea. If you'd like to keep up to date with all of those videos, including a fascinating church in Bulgaria and a visit to one of my new favourite cities, then tickle the old subscribe button to not miss out. If you're wondering if it was a difficult walk up to the fort, well, maybe in the past with people firing at you, it would have been. But for me, it was a pretty straightforward walk up to this amazing view back over the city. Quite a view, isn't it? And in a bit I'll tell you exactly why that bridge is not in the best of shape. It's a story about love, well, in part. But we need to talk about this clock. It looks normal to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. The big hand is the small hand, and the small hand is the big hand. In other words, the big hand is the hour, the small hand are the minutes. And that was for the boatmen who worked on the Danube, so they could look up and easily tell from afar exactly what time it was. As we start our descent from the fort and head towards the city, I need to mention why this fort was rammed a few days before I got there. That's because of the Exit Festival, which takes place every year. And the year I was there, 2025, more than 200,000 people from around the world were there for the music festival. So look, that's part one of our walk around Novi Sad, up the castle, and we're now heading back into the main part of the city to have a look around there. But certainly so far I've really enjoyed it, and I think if you're in Central Europe and you're looking for a day somewhere a bit different, you could do worse than come here to Novi Sad. That, you can see, is the remains of a bridge. It was a railway bridge, and at the end of the Second World War, the Germans, the Nazis, were retreating and they wanted it blowing up, and They got an Italian officer to do it, but the Italian officer had a love from this area, a woman that he'd fallen in love with, and so he decided that he didn't want to blow up the railway station, which might have led to the fortress behind us coming down. So instead, he blew up the bridge. So the bridge is still not been replaced, but the fortress remains, all because of an Italian falling in love with a local woman. Unless you're a fan of 50s, 60s and 70s architecture, and to be honest I'm not, this walk into the centre of Novi Sad was not the most exciting, but thankfully there was much better to come just around the corner. Opposite the town hall, you'll find this. Referred to locally as a cathedral, it's actually a Roman Catholic church, Mary Church. On a boiling hot day, it was a nice place to just chill out for a few minutes, although maybe not quite as much of a chill out as this dog. As we head back towards the Danube and our boat, just a word about Novi Sad, the name of this city. It was given to it by Maria Theresa, who was a Habsburg. There were 4 versions in 4 different languages, but Novi Sad in Serbian means new garden. So now you know. Can you tell by how slowly I and other people are moving just how hot it was that day? And when it's that hot, you always want to get, once again, inside a church or a cathedral. And thankfully, there was another one to try out. That was St. George's Cathedral, the principal Serbian Orthodox church in the city, located next to the Bishop's Palace. Originally built in the 18th century, it was destroyed in the 1849 revolution. But the rebuild at the start of the 20th century is quite magnificent.
Another lineup, another downfall, but we stand up again. Another wrong turn.
As ever, on a cruise or river cruise, you always feel with an excursion somewhat on the clock, and that was certainly the case here in Novi Sad. We had to get to the Danube and via this tigerish mural find our riverboat because we were heading south. So would I recommend a visit to Novi Sad to you? Well, certainly as part of a tour of the former Yugoslavia or Central Europe. One thing you'd have to see is that fort up on the hill.